Okay. Do you mind if I ask him for clarification really quickly? Okay. Thank you.
Well, you know,
All right. Yeah, my wife said that you might say something like that. Don't worry about it. You can find a lot of certified interpreters in the area. That should not be a problem.
well, you know, I only have so much money that I can spend here. We just have a budget. You know, I know your son's important to you, but I have 500 other students in this school, and we can't spend all of our money on an interpreter. How much would I have to pay for an A-certified interpreter?
People always bring up money. That's not what's important here. What's important is equal access. Equal access is the bottom line, point blank. Think about the individual students themselves. You don't think about money because that's not what's important. They have places that can help pay for interpreters, so don't worry about that. But even so, an interpreter costs $15 to $30 an hour most of the time, so remember that. But remember, equal access is what's important, not the money.
Well, what would happen if I had 4 or 5 students that showed up that were deaf and they all needed an interpreter? I would never be able to afford interpreters for all those children.
Equal access is the bottom line. The money is not important. I keep saying this. It's not about the money. What is important is my son getting the one-on-one with his interpreter, getting that one-on-one with his teacher as well.
Well, I think he probably has equal access. He has the same teacher. He has a certified teacher, and everybody else in that room seems to do fine. The fact is, he's handicapped, and I guess he'll just have to work a little harder.
You have this negative stereotype or negative bias against my son because he's deaf, and you think everything is negative and that he can't, but he can. He can just as well as the hearing students can, if not better. My son is very smart. That's not the problem. I'm going to need to ask him to explain that a little bit more. So just hold on 1 second for me.
And I guess he'll just have to work a little harder. Like I said before, my son,
he might not be better than all the other students, but he can do it better than most of them with the right interpreter. If you don't, you won't need to help him do everything. That's not what I'm asking you to do. He might need a little bit of help, but he'll mostly do it on his own. But back to the interpreter. If you don't get my son the interpreter that he needs, I'm going to take him and put him in one of these other schools that I know, where I know he will get the attention that he needs with the certified interpreter that he needs.
Well, now, I don't think it'll be necessary to complain. I think we might be able to find the money for an interpreter. But what will I do with Beth?
Simply just advise her that she needs to practice. And then she can go take the test and she'll be better at it. And if she passes it, then there you go.
Well, that's a good idea. We'll just let Beth take some classes. She can keep on interpreting for Earl, and she can go take some classes at night. How many classes do you have to take to be certified? She could probably be certified before he finishes middle school.
No. Beth needs to leave now. My son needs an interpreter now, a certified interpreter. If you keep waiting and waiting for her to finish her classes, then my son's going to have failed by then.
Fitzpatrick.
Can you ask me again? I think I missed something.
It's me.
Okay, never mind. Maybe it's not important. What's important is a certified interpreter for my son at this very point now, not later. If this doesn't happen right now, then I'm going to be forced to complain.
Well, how do you think I should go about getting a certified interpreter? Okay.
If you contact the agency that I was telling you about before, they'll give you a list of certified interpreters.
Okay, I can call them and see. Do you think advertising in the newspaper would be a good idea? Just call the
No, I don't think that is a good idea.
division, huh?
Yes, exactly.
Do you know that?
Yes. Call the agency and they will give you a list. And the list will tell you whether or not the people are certified and give you a basis on their skills. But the newspaper is not so much a good idea.
Do you know that telephone number?
I'm sorry, I missed those numbers. I need to ask him to give them to me again.
Do you know that telephone number?
Yes, that phone number is 733-69661.
Are they all deaf over there? So the director.
No, they're not all deaf. The director, yes, he is deaf, but members of the board are both deaf and hearing. And the further down, most of the employees are hearing themselves.
So the director doesn't have a telephone if he's deaf, right? Re-
I need a little more clarification on a specific topic, so I'm gonna ask him.
Relay. I've never heard of that. What's relay?
No, he will use TDD. It is, you don't need that. He needs it. You call him and it will go to the TDD, and that's how you two can communicate.
Relay. I've never heard of that. What's relay? I've never noticed that. I've never noticed that.
Your phone bill, you pay a certain amount of money every month, and right?
That.
Suppose you call him, it'll automatically call them, the agents, the relay service, and that's how you communicate, through that service.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you came in and we could have this little talk. And I will certainly call the Division of Services for Deaf and Hard of Hearing and see what they know about certified interpreters and see if they could recommend someone that might be more appropriate for your son, Earl. We certainly want him to be successful here. And so we want to do everything that we can do to make him successful.
getting that interpreter now is what's best. So I expect that tomorrow to see some changes in this tomorrow. But thank you.